Welcome back to the sterilization station for another episode. And we're really excited today. We're known for highlighting the people, the programs, and the professionals making a difference in sterile processing. And today we are back at Newbridge, Cleveland once again to highlight another one of their students. And as you all know, this is one of my most favorite series that we're doing because if you know Bill Rochelle, you know I'm very passionate about students and building connections, networking, and helping them in any way possible. And this is a real person that went through some real challenges. They pressed through it and they were able to become successful. And so today we are going to be able to have a great conversation with our guests. And so we're excited to feature one of our Newbridge Cleveland's sterile processing success stories to hear firsthand about their journey, from deciding to enter healthcare to completing this training program and preparing for a career in SPD. So once again, we just want to thank you for joining today. Please subscribe if you're new, hit the like, comment. We're here to inspire, motivate, and empower SPD. And so we just want to go ahead and jump right into our agenda, and we're going to go ahead and get started. And we're going to go ahead and basically introduce our student today is Tiandre, and he's going to tell us a little bit about himself in the beginning, and then we'll learn about his journey into sterile processing. So Tiandre, welcome to the station, and glad to have you today.
Hey, appreciate that. Appreciate that. So I am actually interested in doing this. And yes, I am currently in Newbridge right now. They're actually nice enough to let me use their conference room. And so this is pretty good. Miss Whitney Jackson and Miss Renee, my teacher. So I do appreciate everybody for letting me use this space. And
That's great.
yeah, as far as this sterile processing, this kind of fell into my lap kind of randomly. Before I did this, I was doing a lot of physical labor jobs. Like I was truck driving, local, doing beer delivery. I was working at factories making toys. All the jobs our grandfathers used to do, breaking our backs.
Yeah.
And I got tired of it, quite frankly. So a friend of mine she was thinking about doing it, but she didn't have the time to do it. And she told me about the program. And I noticed Cleveland Clinic, they had like a program as well where they were working with Newbridge and they were paying for the program. And it was accelerated Monday through Friday, which was perfect. I had stopped my job at the time, so I could do, school full time. And I haven't looked back since, to be honest with you. It was the best decision I made in a long time.
That's awesome. So you actually didn't really find it yourself. Someone else that you knew wanted to do it and said, "Hey, Tiandre, go ahead and check out this program and tell me what you think." That's kind of how it happened.
That's literally what happened.
Wow, that's
Literally.
amazing. That's amazing.
I didn't know about it at all. I knew about, obviously someone's got to clean the surgical equipment, but I didn't know it was like its own department. It never crossed my mind.
Yeah,
So it's a good, I like it.
yeah, that's pretty amazing. When I first went to this program, I actually signed up with a really good friend of mine. We started going through the program, and when he heard he was in class and they said, "You're gonna have to see blood," he raised his hand and he said, "Wait a minute. Do I have to touch blood?" They're like, "Yeah, you're going to have to touch bloody instruments." And he literally quit. I'm like, "Where are you going, man?"
It's not that
He
bad.
quit
I
me. He
promise.
quit, man. He quit on me, bro. I was like, "What happened? What happened? We're supposed to do this together." So I ended up just taking the program out, and very thankful for that. So this is great,
Yeah.
because every journey, has a starting point. And so this is really, really great. So you heard about a Newbridge Cleveland through a good friend of yours.
Yeah.
Now what was what was the determining factor that made you decide this is what you wanted to do?
Honestly, the travel aspect of it, like, for example, even when I did truck driving, you can technically travel, but I'm not doing that. I don't want to travel in my truck. Like, I
Right,
love the fact
right.
that I can use it and I can move to different states. It does help. It's a certification, and it doesn't seem like it's too difficult to get. As long as you do your job and study, you can renew it, and it's not like one of those things where it's too hard to keep. So it's good, especially if you like moving around. And another deciding factor is just the physicality of it. Like, it's not too physically taxing, at least not on me. Like, this is for someone who does hard labor. This is a breeze for me. Like,
Hmm.
it's not as gory as some people may think. You bring up like the blood and the fat, and it's not as bad as most people think.
That's, that's
And
very
I got a
true.
lot of yeah, like my mom's a nurse. She's a director of nursing. I got so many nurses in my family. So just kind of being in the hospital is like second nature for me, quite frankly. None of that stuff bothers me.
Yeah, that's really great. No, I think you have a great, like, your family history and all that, people who been successful in healthcare. So this was a really
Hmm.
good a bridge for you. And And let's go back to that day where you're getting ready to start the program. You signed up, you did all the paperwork. You told all your families and friends. You're really excited.
Mhm.
Now you got all these butterflies, right? And they're in your stomach or they're in your mind, right? So how did you?
Yeah.
What were you expecting? When you thought about your first day, what were you anticipating on your first day of coming to New Bridge Cleveland's program?
Honestly, I didn't know what to expect 'cause I like, I did my research on it. I'm like, "Okay, we clean surgical equipment," but I wasn't sure what to expect because 'cause I'm like, "Is it hands-on? Is it?" Because I know each program's different. So when I did get here, I might brag about them a little bit, but it kinda blew me out the water because there's so much stuff that they do hands-on here. Like, it's even the mock stuff, like, they have instruments, they have tools, they have, like, sterilizers, like ultrasonic sterilizers. So it's like, I wasn't overwhelmed. For me, I got ADHD, so I can take it all in. So this is
Yeah.
perfect for me. So it was just like it was so much to do, and I was just ready for it. Honestly, I was ready. I see it as a challenge, but it's not hard at all. I was just ready to dive in, quite frankly, because they have so many ways to teach you here. So they kind of blew my expectations out the water because I wasn't expecting much. Like I knew I would do good, but they make it kind of easy for you. As long as you study and do the work, they help out a lot here. Quite frankly, I got nothing bad to say about New Bridge. Honestly,
Yeah, they broke the mold when they made Miss Renee. She's probably one of the best
yes.
educators out there. And the thing about her is that she cares. I think that's why we connect so much, is because we're both very passionate about the success of the students. And I watch her LinkedIn posts and I'm like, she's got some pretty creative ways of teaching and keeping engagement. And that's what's needed,
Yeah.
especially like you were saying, different ones who may have ADHD or different types of learning conditions and just learning style. Like different people learn differently. Some people read and study, some need the visuals, some have to get the hands on. I need to touch the
Mhm.
instrument. So I think Miss Renee is doing so many different types of things that help to keep everyone engaged. And as you progress through, right, you had those expectations and now you're progressing through the program. Did your anticipation change, or now that you're actually in the program and doing it, what was that
I got
like?
excited, dude. I got so you don't understand how excited I got. Like the more I kept doing it, the happier I got. Cause I'm like, first of all, I'm about to pass this test. I already know I'm
Yeah,
gonna pass
yeah,
it. I'm a good test taker. So, and again, just the way I absorbed the information and the way they taught it, I just got more and more excited because I knew I was gonna be able to like find a career, not like a job.
yeah.
So I feel like I had jobs that make good money, but like this feels like something I can actually do. Like the fact that we're having this conversation now just goes to show you I've been making moves and Miss Renee has been helping out. So I'm honestly I just been excited. Like yeah,
That's
because
great.
it's in
You kept that excitement and the energy all the way through the program. That's great. People like you is what makes people want to keep going through their program, because they see how passionate you are, and it helps them to
mhm.
have that same. As my daughter likes to say, he has good energy. He's got good energy. She always says that
Yeah.
they got good energy.
Good. You need to have that.
Yeah, you
Here,
ha-
you know, it's
yeah,
girls. So I noticed with like the ladies here, sometimes they get a little overwhelmed because we got guys here, but they get a little overwhelmed. So I'll try to give them a little bit of advice, how to study a little bit. And I think once they realize, okay, this person, he kind of did it a certain way, maybe that worked for them, they might take some of my advice and apply it and they get through the course a little bit easier. I think so at least.
that's great. Now, are you that way because maybe someone in your family who's kind of like that? Like, do you have like a role model or someone in the community that is like that you kind of pattern yourself after? Or is that just
A little
Tiandre?
bit.
Is that just Tiandre?
It's me. Like I hate to brag. It's me though. It really is me. Like the way for example, like we got different instruments, and I know some people they might get overwhelmed looking at all the different tools.
Hmm.
And I'll say like just break them down. Break down what's retractors. Break down what's forceps. Break down what's hemostats. And if you figure what's scissors, once you figure out each group, it doesn't seem like 50 instruments. You know exactly what to look for.
Yeah,
It's the little things like that that works for me that I know can work for somebody else.
that's
Or
great.
even
Yeah,
when they study in the book, some people they'll study word for word, and I'm like, you really don't. Just pinpoint this. This is how the questions are, and you're good. Just don't overstudy. I think.
that's great. No, that's really great. And we know, sterile processing is such an essential part of patient care. And so, what were some of the most valuable things you learned during the program? I mean, of course, you're going to learn the instruments, but what are some things maybe you picked up, from the program?
Honestly, you kind of said it. The instruments, and it's gonna sound weird, but because I've sat in on a few of the operations, and it's genuinely seeing how the instruments are used. That's
Hmm.
what's crazy to me. Because you'll look at something and it's like it's a little clamp. But when you see how they're clamping the arteries or veins, or you see how they're it's interesting, is all I can say. But seeing how the instruments are used, in my opinion, is probably the most interesting thing to me because cleaning it out, I kind of got down packed. I like seeing how things are used. It kind of puts it in perspective what we do. And I've had surgeries myself. I've had 2 rotator cuff surgeries, and I got big screws in both my arms. So
You a ball player?
I've been on, yep,
Baseball
yep. I got to
player?
get them redone.
Is that a baseball player?
No, I was a wrestler.
You're a wrestler. Oh yeah, you
Yep, I was one of
you're
those.
throwing out your joints on the mat.
Hmm. Did a
I
lot
thought
of
you were a
that.
pitcher because a lot of time pitchers throw their shoulders out a lot.
I thought about it. I never did. So I did track. I did football a little bit, but I
Nice.
was mostly a wrestler. I'm a combat sport guy, but my
Okay,
body didn't
cool.
like it, so I'm over it.
No, that's great. Was there anything that surprised you about sterile processing, like in your learning, like something that you could say, like, oh, I didn't know that was what we had to do, or I didn't know that was a part of this.
Now, mind you, if I get the words wrong, but I think it's the C. Is it called CKG, the Creutzfeldt disease, or it's
Oh
like that
yeah.
protein
Mm-hmm.
like that's new. When you got to get rid of the instruments, you got to destroy them, and
Yeah.
like you can't sterilize those. Like that's a little new to me. Like because
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that there were certain obviously proteins or harmful things of that nature that you can't reuse those tools. You gotta get rid of them.
That's great. That's really great. What challenged you the most in the course, and how did you overcome it?
As far as the course, I'm gonna sound terrible because I'm not gonna say it's challenging. Probably because I process things differently. I want to be fair because I don't want to say it was easy for me, but
So what do you mean?
probably just
Let's dive into that. So what do you mean you process things easier? I mean, we do have
like
there's different types
like
of
as we're
people.
going
Yeah.
through the course or whatever, like let's say for example, we're doing like our like donning and doffing our sterile stuff, like our mask, our gown. Like some people they might overthink it. I just process and break down the way that they teach stuff so differently. Like how, for example, the studying, I don't study the book word for word. Like I'll literally go based off of how Miss Renee might do a test, and I'll base all my studying off of those test questions specifically, so I don't overstudy. And it just honestly simplified everything for me. It really,
Mm.
really did.
That's good.
At
That's
least
really
in
good.
my
That's really good. Especially because, and I know you expressed it yourself that you have ADHD. And so it's really
yeah.
interesting because there's so many people in today in 2026 that are dealing with conditions, and they might think to themselves, like, I don't think I can do sterile processing. I don't think I can go to school. And so for your story, your success story for you, not just a person who, you heard about something, you went for it, something different, you got into it, you're excited about it, you're passionate about it,
Mhm.
you got the energy, but you still have ADHD, but then you were able to rise above that and break it down in a way where you understood it. That brings so much hope to other people out there
Mhm.
who might listen to this podcast, and they might say, man, Tiandre Smith did it. I think I could do it. You know what I mean? So that's really, really great, man. I really appreciate you
Yeah.
being vulnerable to share that, because that has a potential of impacting so many lives.
Mhm. No, it could be difficult. I like it personally because some people with theirs is like more physical. They're like really, really hyper. With me, it's like more mental.
Hmm.
So sometimes it might seem like it's a lot of information, but for me, I take it on. Like it works better for me that way because it gives me something to do. Like
Yeah.
even if you give me a sheet of paper and everything is written down on there, I would just write it again. Like I can't help myself. I feel like if I write it down, like or the questions you gave me, I just wrote the same questions you gave me, even though I can just read them. And I just wrote answers for them. I don't know. I'm kind of old school with it. I seem like I just like writing stuff down.
Yeah, that's how I am. That's how I write everything down. I
Hmm.
like to write stuff down as well. How did your instructors help you succeed both inside outside the classroom?
What are you talking about, like Miss Renee?
Yeah, at Newbridge, the educators, the support system that you had there,
Let me think. Let me think. Because they definitely had a few. I can't think of the word.
like mentors.
Because there's been a few students where they've had where like Miss Renee's done like a little few part where they can, see the people. Me, honestly, I think I've been good, man. I really couldn't tell you. I've been pretty good here. Like no one's really bothered me as much as far as helping me out. If anything, the school itself, they know was good. I had more like personal stuff outside of work that they've actually helped me out with myself. Like I didn't get to go to my graduation. It was just I was a little down, but Miss Renee always still kind of helped me out. And I think her connecting us is kind of like trying to get my spirits up a little bit more, knowing I wasn't able to come out. But they've been helpful. As far as schooling goes, I think they knew I got it. So they kind of let me do my thing. So I hate to brag that way, but yeah, when I'm determined, man, I get the work done.
Yeah, that's good. You have a lot of drive, and you have the passion behind it. So, and some people, they come to SPD, they kind of struggle with the science. That's kind of how I was initially. But then you have people
Hmm.
that come there and it just makes sense right from the get go. So I think that's kind of who you were. You understood it from the beginning, and you were able to
Yeah.
just excel at a good pace. We also know in sterile processing, hands-on experience, especially when you're learning sterile processing, is function. Is huge. It's a huge part of learning. Hands-on experience
Yeah.
is a huge part of learning. So, like, what practical skills did you develop during the program?
Well, just knowing how to use certain instruments. So they did have a few of those like anatomy dummies where I know we don't use them as often as the med students, but she let us, use them just looking at certain parts of it.
Yeah,
And she'll let us know like this instrument works this way, or like this retractor is opening up this part of the chest, or this. Yeah, so she'll show us stuff like that. And also with like some of the ultrasonics, like let's say she has like a tabletop ultrasonic, she'll have us, show us how to use. She'll teach us how to use like the little, what are they called? I know they're different at each hospital, like the with the little sheets of plastic with the little fake blood on it, the indicators that shows you if it's.
yeah, yeah. Indicators.
Yeah, I'm gonna learn the names. I'm still 7 months in,
That's
but those,
okay.
a lot of those, and everything's pretty hands on. Like I say, they got a lot of like wrapping, teaching us how to do our wraps. I know each hospital's different, but how we wrap our instruments, same with the containers, all the usual stuff. Like whatever you could think of, hands on, they have it here. Whether it's big washers or small washers, they still have something to show you. Hey, in this facility, it might be different, but this is how you use it. Like they're pretty spot on here as far as everything. They got it hands on and they got it hands down as well.
That's really great. Was there one activity that you did that really boosted your confidence in the program, or was there a moment, or you feel like you kind of had
Hmm.
that from the beginning?
Probably had that from the beginning. I'm gonna be honest with you, because I feel comfortable with everything. Like I felt comfortable when she was teaching us decontam, because I don't get like weirded out about anything nasty. I'm sure it's nasty stuff, but it doesn't bother me. So I was pretty comfortable with that. Same with sterilization. I was super comfortable learning about sterilization, the way she broke it down, and even me working doing sterilization is one of my favorite. Time flies, in my opinion. Same with pet prep and pack or assembly, putting the
Mm-hmm.
instruments and everything together. That might be what I want to work on the most because, so many different instrument sets, you never know.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm there. But you know what? That'll be it. I think me learning that might be the one that got me kind of like, all right, maybe I should learn my stuff. Like I'm comfortable with instruments, but there's gonna be a time where you're gonna do a set that you've never done before, like a big old open heart or like a thin pop tray, and you got to learn it. So yeah, think that's what I got to work on, but that's something for sure that kind of got my mind, ready. That was a little bit of a challenge, is learning all the instruments.
Okay. So just to confirm, are you actively working? Are you in the program? Where are you actually at in your journey?
Actually actively working now. So I graduated from this program. So technically our graduation was in April 19th, I want to say.
Nice.
So they had a program to where I'm forgetting so much time is flew by, but the first half of it is a program. We're here. And then the second half of the schooling is like an externship pretty much. But I ended up getting hired in and I still did my externship. So I work at Hillcrest Hospital right there
Nice.
out in Lyndhurst. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So they ended up pulling me in and I haven't looked back ever since. I like their facility. They've been nothing but, more than fair to me. And I've been doing everything there, all the programs there. They have their own like schooling there, like cohort classes. So yeah, I've been working for about 7 months now. I've been there since December and I'm still there now. So
That's great. That's really great. No, it's awesome. That's really
mhm.
great by this. So, we think about the externship experience, right? Many students say the externship is where everything comes together, right? You got your aha moments like, oh, I read about prep and pack, I did it, or I read about, there's something about reading about sterilization, but when you push that button and you start to hear all the sterilizers start to crank up, you're like, oh man, this is
Mhm.
cool, man. You know what I mean? So, but now
It's nice.
you get in the hospital, you're probably working with an educator or a supervisor. They get you a locker, you get your scrubs, you get your student badge, you put your PPE on. It's different now. You're not just putting it on at school. You cross the threshold of that the department. You're in day one. You are a
Yeah.
SPD extern. Like, so, where did you end up doing your externship at, and what was it like on your first day?
Okay. So my externship was Hillcrest Hospital
Wow. Okay.
and my
Okay.
supervisor, Vicky, I don't want to ruin her last name, but Miss Vicky, appreciate
Yeah.
you. You're going to see this. She gave me the opportunity and
That's awesome.
pulled me in and let me train and I had a good time. I was in Deacon Tam for a while though. I will say I will say
Nice.
that. I think that was
Nice.
still bringing people in. But yeah, I learned Deacon Tam pretty quick. I didn't have a choice, but it wasn't
Nice.
too bad. So I was comfortable there and yeah, that's where they had me starting at. Probably like my first 4 or 5 weeks, maybe. It was in Deacon Town.
So when did you know you got hired there? Did they tell you before you left, or how did that
Yeah,
go?
right before I left. So right before I took my test, and they were hiring both certified and uncertified.
Oh,
But right
nice.
before I took my test, I was I kind of had things in play. Like I was calling different hospitals, just, are y'all hiring? Like I know the schools do it, but I kind of did it a little bit for them. I asked them if they were hiring, and I told them, I'm currently with Newbridge right now. And she told me they were hiring and that they do hire people from Newbridge. So she gave me the opportunity, as long as I passed my test, and I ended up passing my test, but I still got hired regardless. So she
Uh-huh.
let me work with them. I got my hours in, like how HSP 8, you log in
Yep.
your hours and
Yep.
everything.
Yeah.
Got all that done, and it just felt like work. Like it was still school, but I was working. So it was smooth to me. I got no complaints.
What was the hardest thing about your externship?
Instruments, definitely instruments. Because the thing is like everything else was pretty simple. Even if mistakes happen, like let's say machines break down, that's another thing. But instruments, because they don't all look the same. Like it's real world. So you might have two things that are the same thing, but one might be just a little bit shorter than the other one. Like let's say you got some Creo hemostats or whatever. 7 inch or 6.5 inch. It's times I've wasted time thinking this isn't it because it's just worn down a little bit. You know how like the maintenance people will fix it, but it's the
Yeah.
same instrument. So it's like I got to just working on it, learning like they don't all have the same number. They're not all pretty, but they're the same thing. So just working on that. And it seemed like the more you do the instruments, you get comfortable and you get a little bit more speedy with it. But it's not the hardest thing. But again, once you get working on some of the ones you don't know, it takes some time.
How that's really great, and I appreciate you sharing that personal experience. Now, as being a preceptor for over 12 years, 13 years, very passionate. I've also ran into some students who graduated or different ones I've mentored that didn't really have the best preceptor experience. So during your externship, did you have any challenges with any preceptors? Was there anything that that you kind of had to navigate through from that perspective?
No, honestly, I'm glad you said that too. I actually had a good one. I'm gonna shout him out too. Young guy too, Von Barrett. I'm saying his name because he deserves some credit. But
Yeah,
my sister paired me up with him. He's been there for a little while, but he was my
nice.
preceptor, and he knew his stuff, man. Like he was real helpful. He noticed like even if it was things that I didn't know myself, he was real patient. He didn't get as irritated. I'm sure he did, but he didn't get as irritated. He was real. He knows his stuff, man. I am proud of him. So I do want to give a shout out to Von Barry. He's a good guy for real.
That's
But he
great.
was he was pretty deep with everything. He didn't make anything complicated. He'll let me make a mistake to an extent as long he'll let me, let's say I'll do sterilization and I'm, marking all my stuff. And right before I put all my stuff in SPM, he might say, "Hey, what you miss?" And I'll look at it and I might have missed my lot stickers or something small like that. Like he never makes you feel stupid. So all my preceptors are pretty dope.
Yeah,
He was my main one, and we have a lead as well. Aaliyah, I want to say her last name is Heron. She also helped out as well. So we
that's
got a
gr-
good team over there.
that's great. Yeah, when you have those preceptors that are, really to create the great learning experience. I mean, that's the best thing is when organizations put the right people in that really want to, the kind of a how you say like they buy into your success. They're willing to invest in
Mm,
you, pay it forward, pay it back. So I think that's really great that you had a great experience and that you were able to eventually get hired on, that's really, really golden. Now
yeah.
we think about like personal growth and success. So when you're looking back on your journey, how has the program at Newbridge, how did it help you grow personally and professionally?
Personally, it kind of told me a little bit of what I already know about myself. Like I can get things done. I can make it happen. Like I can be successful. And I feel like I found my career. Like I actually do feel happy, like working. Like
Yeah.
I know that sounds cliche, but like it's not as stressful. So yeah, I feel pretty good as far as that goes. And I'm sorry, what was your other question? If I might have missed it, I'm sorry about that, brother.
I think you answered it actually.
Oh.
Yeah, I think you
That
answered
works.
it well. Very good. What accomplishment are you most proud of?
My certification and then just this, honestly, all my networking. I don't know if it's just me as a person or people just love looking out, but I've been networking a lot with people and just learning and trying to advance into it. So besides the school, Cleveland Clinic, who I work for, they have their own like cohort classes to
Mhm.
where it's like you still have to do their course as well. So they check you and make sure you know what you're talking about and you have to pass that
Mhm.
as well to become certified on top of taking the test. I'm currently going to be learning endoscopy. we
Nice.
technically do endoscopy anyway at
That's
my
great.
hospital.
That's great.
So it's like, why not become certified doing it? I know some hospitals have that separately. So that's my next step. I was learning the CER, picking that up and just picking up as much as I can as far as the techs. I might travel, but I like where I'm at right now. So yeah, I like it. I got no complaints about it.
That's really great. Yeah, you all honestly segued into our next section, which is about career goals. So it sounds like you are looking to make SPD a career, not just a job, and that you're already investing in what's next. So
Yeah.
are you currently pursuing any additional certifications, or are you just focusing on the CER right now?
Right now, the CER, anything else I can get, stereotex related, I will. I always wanted to do sports medicine again because I
Hmm.
had surgery. So I figured like I always wanted to do like physical therapy or anyone that's had like sports injuries, just help them in therapy and stuff like that and injuries like that. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll pick that up at some point. I know certain hospitals, since you work in a hospital, they'll actually pay for certain classes like that. So
yeah.
at some point that will be the next step.
Yeah, that's great. A lot of hospitals have an educational fund. You can go back to school and they'll reimburse you. So that's really, really great. We
Hmm.
thinking about the next generation, future students. Many of our listeners may be thinking about enrolling themselves. What advice can you give someone who might be considering a career in sterile processing or even going to the New Bridge Cleveland program?
Okay. As far as the New Bridge program, honestly, it is one of the best programs. I know there's different colleges and different entities that have programs, but since I work with different people that have went to different programs, I can genuinely say New Bridge has it the best because they have more equipment and most of it's hands-on. It's not just like you're just reading a book or they're just kind of teaching you online, which is fine.
Yeah,
But I think hands-on works the best for a lot of people because you have equipment here, you have instruments here. They have a lot of stuff here. You would be surprised the stuff that's in this building. Like they make it fit, but they have it. So that helps a lot of the students. And as far as just getting into sterile processing itself, it's not as difficult, as some people think. It's not as gory or as nasty as people think. Yes, you might see fluids, but by the time we get to it, it's not as bad. Trust and believe. As long as you just take care of yourself, follow the steps, and follow the IFUs and the way it's supposed to be done, you'll be fine. It's not difficult. Instruments might seem overwhelming when you look at them, but there are pick sheets, so it'll tell you what to look for, what the size and numbers. So it's not as difficult. And I just tell people not to overthink it when you take your test, matter of fact, something you said. So with the externship, I know some people they feel more comfortable going to the job site and working before they take the test. And that works only if where you're working does it strictly how the test is. Cause sometimes you might get on a work site and you might get into bad habits and then you'll go and take the test and fail the test. And even though what you're doing is the right way, it's not what the test is. So I tell people study whatever Miss Renee in the school here is telling you, study it exactly like that. You're going because you're studying to pass the test. Now, once you're out there in the real world and you do it the way you have to do it, the right way, but it confuses people because each hospital does it differently. And some people they'll try to test based off of that. So just don't overthink it. Study the course exactly how it's studied. And I promise you, you will pass and then everything is fine from there. It's not as complicated as some people think.
that's really great. Yeah, no, that's really great. Would love to one day maybe even get a chance to see the facility, tour the facility. But this is really great. Really glad to to have you come on the show. And we're approaching the end of the interview, so really glad like I said,
Thanks.
we're really glad that you had a chance to come on the show today. We reflecting on today's journey. It's important always to remember that success is not always easy to recognize at the beginning. Many people doubt success because they fear failure, right? They compare themselves to others, they're
Yeah.
underestimating their own abilities, or they become discouraged by challenges along the way. But today, Tiandre's story reminds us that growth comes from perseverance. It comes from preparation, having confidence, and believing everything is possible. Every interview, every challenge, every opportunity is a chance to learn and move closer to your goals. So if you're listening today, we thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you subscribe, share it for someone who needs encouragement, and join us next time for more stories of achievement, resilience, and success from the Newbridge, Cleveland community. So Tiandre, I salute you. I see some good things coming with you. I really do. You're passionate. You got the energy. It comes to you
Yeah, I'm gonna be
easy.
around.
You said I'm going to be around.
Yeah,
That's great. So we're going to
definitely.
go ahead and close out this session today, but thanks for coming on the show.
X, yeah. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you.
Yeah.